A Canadian is charged with assault with a snowblower. Have you tried the pumpkin seeds stuck in your rectum challenge? And a town in Oregon is requiring residents to come and pick up their free puffy winter jackets. These are the weird stories that are available today on Weird AF News. It's the only daily weird news podcast in the universe. I have three bizarre, strange stories from all over the world today. Here we go for you. A Canadian man is arrested for assault with a snowblower. You heard of road rage, right? Well, there's snow rage as well up in Canada. Not a place I would expect it, although it does snow a lot, but everybody seems so pleasant up there. But then again, there's Molson. A 57-year-old Canadian man has been arrested and charged with assault for blowing snow at another individual. This is after a dispute. Well, I'm so curious what the dispute might have been about. I mean, you got to get really worked up to attack somebody with a snowblower. Tell me you're Canadian without telling me you're Canadian. Assault with a snowblower. Huh? Now, the article I have here says the holiday season is supposed to be the time of year when your spirits are at their highest and everyone gets along in a very friendly manner. Bring us some figgy pudding, bring us some figgy pudding, and bring it right here. You know how it goes. Making out under a mistletoe. Dry humping under a mistletoe, baby. Songs I made up. However, in Canada, check this out. There's been a few Grinches out there. Some Grinches right before Christmas kicks in. Well, let's hear about these Grinches. At the beginning of December, they said the police in Brantford, Ontario, were called after one resident put up signs claiming that Santa is fake during the town's annual Christmas parade. They were forced to take the signs down. No arrests made. I didn't fully cover the story. This is my first time hearing about it, actually. It seems to be the appetizer to this other story. Now, the article says, while it's not illegal to be a Grinch, we encourage everyone to embrace the spirit of the season and help foster a very positive, welcoming community, especially during events such as the Santa Claus Parade. Now, over in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario, 57-year-old Christopher Wright was arrested. Bit of a Grinch, charged with assault after spraying a victim with snow from a snowblower. According to the police, Wright had gotten into an argument with the victim. They're calling it the victim. You hit with snow, you're a victim. Okay. Who is known to him. They know each other. Before Wright intentionally directed snow from a snowblower at the victim. That's according to the police report. Imagine calling the police because you got hit with some snow. Freaking snowflake. I mean, am I right, guys? What kind of Karen does this? Police, police. Oh, my goodness. He blew snow on me. Was it yellow snow? No, it wasn't yellow. All right, well, it's got to be yellow for it to be assault. It would have to be, you would think it would be yellow to be eligible for the assault title. Like, I don't want to get hit with yellow snow, all right? That would make me angry. I still wouldn't call the police because I'm not a snowflake. I'm just going to light a bag of moose poop on fire and leave it on your front porch in the middle of the night. Yeah, that's what I'm going to, I mean, it's a mature response. That's what we're looking for here. Moving on, the Canadian Mr. Wright was arrested by police shortly after 9 a.m. with the victim being unharmed by the snow that had been blown at them. So if they're unharmed, then what's the point of calling the police? The 57-year-old man is scheduled to appear in court on February 9th on the assault charge. The person wasn't injured. How is this assault? This is more like an annoyance. I can see that. It says if found guilty, Wright could face up to 5 years in prison for blowing snow at somebody. What is going on? You really going to take this guy to court for blowing some snow at you? I mean, this seems like such a waste of resources. How do you even court this? This really is going to go to court? You're going to tell a jury? You're going to go up in front of a jury like, yeah, Your Honor, the snow was all over my backside, eh? I mean, it melted, eh? But I could show you if we all go outside right now, eh? Bring the jury out. Get your coats, eh? I'll show you where the snow was, how it landed on my backside. That was my impression of the snowflake in court, trying to conjure up Exhibit A, the snow injury that didn't exist. Look, I don't know what kind of world we're living in right now, but if being struck with some snow is a form of assault, then as a child, with snowballs in hand, I was guilty of many felonious activities throughout my New England winters, I'll just tell you right now. Thank goodness no Karen called the police on me. Have you guys tried the pumpkin seeds stuck in your rectum challenge? It's all the rage on TikTok. I'm kidding. It's not a TikTok challenge, but you could see that it might be. I mean, it sounds like it has the flavor of a TikTok challenge and the stupidity of it, but no, this is a real case I'm going to get into, and I'm unlocking a new nightmare in life. I'm so sorry. If you enjoy pumpkin seeds, then you might not want to listen to this following segment. We have here a 39-year-old man, otherwise healthy, was presented to the emergency department with severe rectal pain and a history of constipation lasting for longer than 3 days. He had presented to another community emergency department twice in the previous 2 days for the same concerns. What he reported was a little odd. He had consumed some raw pumpkin seeds with the intact shells from 3 whole pumpkins during Halloween pumpkin carving 4 days prior. So he carves the pumpkins and he has the seeds and he eats them all raw, 3 pumpkins worth of raw seeds. All right. I didn't know you couldn't do that. Let's keep reading and find out if you can do that. I don't think you can. During his first 2 emergency department visits, manual disimpaction was attempted. Oh, I love these words. Manual disimpaction. I'm not sure what that is. They released only a few pumpkin seeds from a hard mass in his rectal vault. Wow, the rectal vault. Have you ever heard of such a word? That sounds amazing. Make a great band name, too. Rectal vault. He was then released from the emergency unit and given some prescriptions for constipation, basically. And on the patient's 3rd emergency department presentation, they call it a presentation. I would like to present my colon today to the emergency. Welcome to the emergency department. What are you presenting? I'm presenting my rectum, which doesn't seem to be working. I would love to present a stool, but I haven't seen a stool in several days. Now, on the 3rd emergency department presentation, as I said, he reported more rectal pain. He had been taking the prescribed medications. Still constipated, though. He could only pass some gas, they say. On the examination, the patient had a temperature of 36.5 degrees Celsius, heart rate of 70 beats a minute. All right, there's some other vitals that they're giving. I don't know if you want to know all this, but it's a very strange article. This must be what it's like to read like medical journals. Although he was in obvious discomfort, he did not appear unstable. His abdomen was non-distended, soft, and non-tender to palpation, with no palpable masses. Oh, thank God there's no palpable masses. Digital rectal examination, also known as a DRE, I call it a Dr. Dre. You never been on a ride like this before, with a producer who can rap and control the maestro at the same time with the dope rhymes that I kick. You know, and I know I function on funkish-ish. It ain't nothing but pumpkin seeds, baby. These pumpkin seeds drive me crazy. My rectal vault is now lazy. It don't work, and that's what I'm trying to say. All right, that was probably illegal in many states, what I just did. Okay, so we got the digital rectal examination, also known as the legendary DRE, from the CPT. And it revealed a large, firm mass with discernible pumpkin seeds inside the rectal vault. That dang rectal vault. Seeds stuck in the rectal vault. My goodness. This poor guy's just trying to enjoy his fall pumpkin. Now he's all caught up and backed up because of a mass of rectal pumpkin seed, which sounds like a new latte flavor at Starbucks. Have you tried the new rectal pumpkin seed latte? Only in the fall at Starbucks. Okay, now I'm looking at some radiographs of a 39-year-old man showing some fecal loading from a rectal pumpkin seed bazaar. Bazaar? Rectal pumpkin seed bazaar. Bezoar. Oh, I've never heard of this word before. Oh, define it. Define it. This is no good. A bazaar is a mass of indigestible material. My goodness, I'm surprised I never suffered from a bazaar of gum, from all the gum I swallowed as a child. I don't know, for some reason I just would chew my gum and swallow it. Never got a bazaar. By the way, bazaar not to be confused with a bazaar, all right? A rectal bazaar is not something you want to be associated with. You might want to attend a rectal bazaar, you know, it's an outdoor rectal festival. That might be, I mean, if that's your jam, I don't know. I think that's the other name for the orgy tent at Burning Man, the rectal bazaar. What is wrong with me? This story's going off the rails. It's so bizarre. You don't want to, by the way, you don't want to look at an abdominal radiograph of a 39-year-old man with a giant pumpkin seed bazaar inside, jamming up his rectal runway. Rectal runway. I just made that up. That should be a word they use. They don't use that one, though. It's too fun. Although they do use a rectal vault, which is equally fun. Okay, so the pumpkin seed bazaar, the thing you don't want. I mean, they removed it. They used multiple fleet enemas. I don't know what a fleet of enemas. Did you know that? Wow, that's how you win a war right there. Just send a fleet of enemas. What military wants to encounter a fleet of enemas coming at them? I mean, you're going to win right away. You're just going to lay down their arms and surrender rather than be attacked by the fleet of enemas. What is this today? It says here the multiple fleet enemas only removed half of the seeds. Poor guy. He was then given a PEG, a peg. Is that what you... From my understanding, a peg isn't going to remove those seeds. It's just going to impact them further. Maybe this is a different kind of peg than I've heard of. The gastroenterologist planned for a repeat flexible sigmoidoscopy the next morning to release his seed burden. Release the seed burden from the rectal vault! Get the fleet of enemas ready and attack! All right, I'm not going into any further details. This is rather disgusting, and I apologize for those of you who are of the faint of heart. But, I took what was a medically disgusting story and sort of embellished it. But, I mean, where are you going to get a Dr. Dre lyric? Only from Weird AF News. I'm not going to go into the further details. I'll just say a bazaar is a massive indigestible material in the gastrointestinal tract. Seed bazaars are a subtype of phytobazaars composed of indigestible plant seed fibers. Seed bazaars of various compositions have been described in the literature, including seeds from the following. So just be careful. Watermelons, prickly pears, dates, sunflowers, and pumpkins, as well as popcorn kernels. So you can, you don't want to eat too many of these things. And you definitely don't want to eat the husk of the seed. Like with pumpkin seeds and sunflower seeds, from my understanding, you just want to eat the seed itself. And one of the reasons this man had the bazaar was because he ate the pumpkin seeds raw and he didn't shell them either. He ate the entire shell. The seeds should be baked and then husked or dehusked. Dehusked? Yeah, dehusked. And if you're eating date seeds at all, I mean, what's wrong with you? I don't understand why dates are even on here. Who the hell eats a date seed? They're huge and hard as a rock. I mean, why would you do that to yourself? Now, it does say that rectal seed bazaars are very rare in North America and are an uncommon cause for presentation to the emergency department. You don't see a lot of presentations of the rectal seed bazaars. Good. I don't want to see a rectal seed bazaar presentation at all. That sounds like the crappiest TED Talk in history. All right, the article has more and more about this summary of the case and the history of it, and it's all in very highfalutin medical language, and I can't pronounce half of the words in here, so I'm just going to tell you, be careful out there, guys, around the holidays. Maybe you want to have some seeds. I was eating a lot of sunflower seeds when I was playing softball and baseball. I would bring a bag of seeds and chew on them. I always bit off the husk, spit it out, and ate the seed inside. I've been doing that for many, many years, eating sunflower seeds. 20 years, and never had an issue. But I guess just be careful. Make sure that these seeds aren't eaten raw and that you don't eat the entire shell in addition to the seed itself. And probably don't eat too many. Although I always thought it was a good source of fiber. I mean, maybe I'm incorrect. But you should always be paying attention to your fiber intake nonetheless. And if you do have a pretty normal fiber intake, I think you're okay with eating a moderate amount of seeds in your diet regularly. I love sesame seeds as well. Pepitos. I love pepitos. Or is it papitas? Papitas. I don't know how you say it, but get it. A city in Oregon requires all new residents to pick up their mandatory puffy black winter jacket at City Hall. Did you just move to Bend, Oregon? Well, there's an ordinance that was passed by the Bend City Council after only 11 minutes of discussion and one enthusiastic fist pump, which aims to streamline the assimilation for the thousands of newcomers flooding into the Central Oregon mountain town each year. Very popular place, sounds like. Bend, Oregon. Here's a quote from a Bend spokesperson named Lacey Thornwood, who says, "This isn't just about fashion. This is about culture. This is who we are." She was adjusting her own city-issued puffy black Columbia winter jacket, her puffy jacket, which is reportedly indistinguishable from the ones worn by the rest of Bend's 102,000 residents. She goes on to say, "Wearing one of these is about becoming part of something bigger, a unified community of people who dress exactly the same while insisting that we're quirky and we're outdoorsy, very outdoorsy. We drive Subarus. Well, this story is either a fake and hilarious, or it's true and very suspect. I'm suspicious of this town requiring you to pick up a jacket if you're new there. What are you getting at here? What could they be up to? Show up for a jacket, next thing you know, you're in a Scientology group? I don't like the sound of this, but let's keep reading. Under the new rules, City Hall's lobby has been converted into what staff describe as an orientation boutique, where newcomers file through stations to receive their state-mandated gear. State-mandated gear. Each jacket, puffy jacket, is fitted, zipped, photographed, and entered into Ben's official puffer registry. This story is completely fake. It's got to be. This is totally fake. It's very funny, though. So, I mean, I love satire. I'm going to keep reading. And, there's no going back now, right? We're already 3 minutes in or whatever. New arrival to Bend, Oregon, Mike Halbrook, who moved from Phoenix, Arizona last week, said the process was surprisingly efficient and a little bit culty. Here's a quote from Mike. Well, they told me I'm not legally allowed to go to Trader Joe's, get a seasonal latte, or stand in line at Mr. Bachelor without this puffy jacket. I didn't realize how serious this was until someone whispered that showing up in a Patagonia vest is punishable by a mandatory e-bike commuting. Who wrote this? This is very funny. Now, it says, in addition, local law enforcement confirmed that this new puffy jacket policy will be strictly enforced, with officers now equipped with thermal scanners designed to detect whether a jacket has the legally required amount of puff. Wow, so funny. You are under arrest for being underpuffed. Our puff meter says you're below the illegal amount. Violators are going to face escalating penalties, starting with a polite reminder, followed by a stern look from a bearded barista. Ultimately, a 72-hour ban from Pilot Butte. I don't know what Pilot Butte is. It must be someplace they all regularly hang out. Despite some pushback from libertarian transplants insisting this is tyranny on top of microbrewery fascism, longtime Bend residents widely support the puffy jacket measure. Here's a quote from resident Heather Jacobs, who gave this quote while jogging with her golden doodle, who also wore a matching puffy Columbia vest as well. If everyone's wearing the same puffy black Columbia jacket, it eliminates any judgment. I like that. It's like a uniform that tells people, I hike sometimes, and I can't afford a $7 drip coffee. Now, in response to concerns about individuality, the city of Bend clarified that residents will be permitted to accessorize with one acceptable stylistic flair, either a hydro flask covered in Oregon-centric stickers or a beanie in earth tones. Both must be registered with City Hall. The ordinance is expected to roll out fully by spring, when Bend anticipates another surge of newcomers desperate to escape rising housing prices in Portland by moving somewhere even more expensive. Now, the city officials remain confident that this program of puffy jackets will unify the city. Here's another quote from a resident. Well, whether you're a remote tech worker, a mountain biker, or someone who claims they're going to learn to snowboard but never actually does, the puffy black Columbia jacket is the great equalizer. The article ends by saying, at press time, Bend, Oregon officials were reportedly considering a follow-up measure requiring all Subaru owners to undergo annual stick-figure family decal inspections. That's so funny because a lot of them do have that stick-figure family on the back of it. This is a very funny piece of satire that I thoroughly enjoyed. It's not real, but imagine if it was. You can imagine. Oh, it says this was written by Tyler James, founder of That Oregon Life. He's a true Oregon native whose love for his state runs deep, and he's had this blog since 2013. Very funny writer as well. I have to give a shout out to Tyler James. I'm sure he's wearing a puffy jacket right now. Well, guys, I mean, once in a while I get a fake story. This was one of them, and then when I get those fake stories, usually I don't realize because I'm kind of slow until about a third or half of the way through the story, and then I feel like I got to push through because at the end of the day, I mean, it's all about entertainment anyways, right? We're here to laugh a little bit, forget our worries. And so stories like this, yeah, they're sometimes appropriate. I wish this was real, though. I mean, wouldn't you love if every city had a budget to do Jesus things? This is like a Jesus thing, handing out jackets. If every municipality had a Jesus budget, maybe you're giving out free wine, free, Chinese food buffets. Just every city having a budget that every year they can ask themselves, what would Jesus do with this money? And then do it. Hey, my friends and fellow loyal listeners, fellow friends, fellow weirdos, loyal weirdos, all of that. So they want to thank you for enjoying this highly caffeinated episode of Weird AF News. Very strange in many ways, but I gotta stick to the brand here. I want to thank everybody who reached out to me, and some people decided to support the show. First of all, we have Captain Bob Cohen. Bob Cohen, who's been a member of the Patreon for quite some time, just upped his membership, doubled his membership to the Patreon. So for the holidays, I just want to give thanks and praise to Robert Cohen, who's been an OG fan, longtime listener of Weird AF News, someone I've had messages with in the past, and just a big fan of the show. So shout out to Bob Cohen, and for doubling his membership here. It's showing just amazing support for Weird AF News. Big fan. Also, a new Patreon member. Let's give her some love. It's Corinne Carter. Corinne Carter! Round of applause. There we go. Corinne Carter in the house, showing major support. Corinne Carter is can now call herself a patron of the arts. Not everybody can say they support the arts. It's a good thing to support the arts. You have this one life on Earth, right? At some point, you should support the arts because the arts are so important. You know, honestly, it's one of the only cultural behaviors that actually can transform the culture. You think these politicians are transforming the culture? They're having positive effects on the culture? Hell no. Artists can have a transformational effect on the culture, and it's pretty democratic in that it's kind of free to make art. So that's really wonderful. And many artists are broke as hell. So supporting the arts is something you should all do. You know, everybody should do that at some point in their lives. Like Corinne Carter, very generous, supporting the Weird AF News podcast. One man in a closet, getting some laughs, making your day better. That's what's up. So appreciate that. Happy holidays to you, Corinne. Please enjoy the extra content inside the Patreon. There's over 1,000 different pieces of extra weird content that I've put in there over the years. It's pretty beefy. It's one of the most active Patreons that you can be a part of, to be honest. I've seen these other Patreons. These people put one thing a month in. Like, oh, you get one extra bonus thing a month. That's a bunch of bullish as far as I'm concerned. I put 2-3 things in there a week. I try to anyways. At least one a week. And I run a fantasy football league with just my patrons. I mean, how amazing is that? That's pretty cool. Anyways, the Patreon is pretty fabulous, I'd say. Join that. You can go to patreon.com/weirdafnews or the website official weirdafnews.com and join the Patreon there. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Good luck with your life, man.